Is it possible for a franchise to be haunted by a legend that refuses to fade, even when he's already packed his bags? Or could a single, aggressive, high-stakes gamble in the trade market be the missing piece that turns a contender into an unstoppable juggernaut? The Philadelphia Eagles are standing at a massive crossroads right now, and the decisions looming in the next 2 weeks could define their entire season. We aren't just talking about roster management. We're talking about legacies, championship windows, and the kind of bold, ruthless strategy that makes or breaks a team's title hopes. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. The air in Philadelphia is heavy with speculation. We are exactly 14 days away from the start of training camp, and yet the chatter isn't about the current roster. It's about who might be coming back to save it, and who might be the explosive new weapon brought in to change the offense forever. The first piece of this puzzle is a story of loyalty, grit, and perhaps one last ride. Brandon Graham is the heart and soul of this team. He is a franchise icon who has lived through the absolute worst and absolute best of Philadelphia football. Last year, when the defensive line looked vulnerable and the injuries began to pile up, Graham returned like a ghost from the past to provide the exact kind of veteran stability the unit desperately needed. He wasn't just a body on the roster. He was a leader who stepped into high-pressure moments when the team was battered by injuries to key players like Jalen Carter. Think about the history here. This is a player who endured the scrutiny of being a high draft pick, battled through early career doubts, and rose to become a legend. His strip sack of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl is etched into the memories of every fan in the city. But now, he is standing at the precipice of retirement again. He has openly admitted that he doesn't want the drama of waiting until mid-season to jump into a moving car. He wants an early. He wants to be part of the foundation from day one of training camp. But does the team actually need him? That is the billion-dollar question. You look at the current edge rushing group, Jonathan Greenid, Jix Hunt, and the promising depth, and you have to wonder if there is room for the old guard. The team has invested heavily in young talent. Yet, the memory of last year's late-season surge, which saw the defense evolve into one of the top 5 units in the league, makes it hard to say no to that kind of veteran presence. If Brandon Graham isn't wearing midnight green this year, does the defensive culture suffer? And if he does sign, are they just holding on to the past when they should be looking toward the future? Who is to blame if the defense takes a step back this year, the front office or the players? Drop a name in the comments. But wait, the Graham situation is only half the drama. While everyone is focused on the defensive trenches, there is a separate, more explosive conversation happening in the shadows. A potential blockbuster trade for Jacksonville wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. This is where the story shifts from legacy to pure ambition. Brian Thomas Jr. exploded onto the scene as a rookie, becoming an unstoppable force in the Jacksonville offense. He was the guy, the primary target, the one defenses feared. But heading into year 2, the relationship between player and team seems to have cooled. Rumors are swirling that Thomas might be looking for a fresh start, and when there is smoke, especially when it involves an aggressive front office like Philadelphia's, there is usually fire. The organization in Philadelphia is famous for its all-in mentality. They don't just want to compete, they want to hunt for stars. If they can land a player of Thomas's caliber, it changes everything. Imagine an offense that already features Devonta Smith, a route-running technician who plays 10 feet tall, and a collection of promising wideouts like Dontavian Wicks and the rest of the deep rotation. If you add Brian Thomas Jr. to that mix, you aren't just adding a receiver. You're creating a matchup nightmare that would force opposing defensive coordinators to lose sleep. It's a what-if scenario that has the league whispering. If they go through with it, they're essentially saying the window is now. They're betting on the idea that you can never have too many weapons. But bringing in a guy like Thomas carries a heavy cost, likely high-end draft capital. Are they willing to sacrifice the future for one massive, electrifying season? The parallel to the Rams' famous F them picks strategy is impossible to ignore. It is bold, it is risky, and it is the kind of move that either brings home a trophy or leaves the fans wondering what might have been. Some argue that the current roster is already a top 5 unit in the NFL and that a move for someone like Thomas is overkill. They point to the development of the existing pass catchers and the health of the quarterback as the true keys to success. They say that if the team plays to its potential, they are already a Super Bowl-level squad without making a single major trade. But then there is the counter-argument. The difference between good and championship is often a single, game-changing dimension. Brian Thomas Jr. provides that vertical threat and that size-speed combination that turns a good offense into a legendary one. If he is truly available, failing to pull the trigger could be viewed as a missed opportunity of massive proportions. We have a team that is obsessed with winning, a fan base that demands excellence, and a front office that has never been afraid to break the mold. As we march toward training camp, the tension is palpable. Every day that goes by without a move feels like a ticking clock. Will the veteran return for one last, glorious chapter, or will he walk away, leaving the defensive unit to navigate the season on its own? And will the front office pull off a heist of the century by acquiring a young star receiver? Or will they stand pat, trusting the roster they have built through the draft? The reality of the NFL is that it is a league of finite windows. You have a few years where everything aligns, where your core is healthy and your coaching is sharp, and then the cycle resets. The front office knows this better than anyone. They have been maneuvering around the salary cap and pulling off personnel moves that leave the rest of the league scratching their heads for years. This is their identity. They don't just watch the market, they dictate it. Think about the implications of these two potential moves. If Graham returns, the defense gains a mentor, a locker room leader, and a player who knows exactly how to finish games when the lights are brightest. If Thomas arrives, the offense gains a new identity, a player who can stretch the field and open up the entire game plan for everyone else. But the path to these decisions is filled with landmines. There is the risk of an aging veteran not having enough left in the tank. There is the risk of a high-priced trade disrupting the chemistry of a young, hungry receiving core. There is the pressure of a city that hasn't forgotten the sting of falling short, and the hunger for a championship that can only be satisfied by a ring. As we look at the calendar, the urgency is clear. 14 days, 2 weeks. In the life of an NFL team, 2 weeks is an eternity, yet it's also the blink of an eye. During this time, discussions are happening behind closed doors, phone calls are being made, and the futures of these players are being decided. The fans know it, the media knows it, and the players definitely know it. The environment at training camp will be completely different depending on the outcome of these two situations. If the team walks onto the field with a solidified defensive front and a new, explosive offensive weapon, the confidence will be sky high. If they walk out with the same questions and the same roster, the pressure will be on from the first whistle. This isn't just about football. It's about the soul of a city that lives and dies with its team. It's about the drama of the offseason and the anticipation of the first game of the year. It's about the belief that greatness is not just earned on the field, but built in the front office. We are watching a high-stakes chess match where the pieces are legends and potential stars, and the board is the entire league. The decisions made in the next 2 weeks will reverberate through the stadium for the rest of the year. Whether it's the return of a hero or the arrival of a new, dangerous talent, the Philadelphia landscape is on the verge of a massive shift. The stage is set. The expectations are through the roof. And the only thing left to do is wait and see which direction they take. We are standing on the edge of something big, and there is no turning back now. This is the moment where reputations are cemented and legacies are secured. In the world of the NFL, fortune favors the bold, and the next few weeks are going to show us exactly how bold this team is prepared to be. But before we close the loop on this, consider this. What happens if both moves happen, or what happens if neither happens? The contrast in outcomes is stark. The team could either be the most feared squad in the conference, or they could be left struggling to find that one extra gear. The uncertainty is what makes this sport so incredibly captivating. It is a constant game of calculated risks and emotional investments. As we count down the final days until the pads start popping and the real work begins, the questions remain. Is the legend coming home to finish the job? And is the star receiver going to be the catalyst for a title run? The The silence in the lead up to camp is loud, and the answers are coming sooner than you think. Everything is about to change, and the momentum is already building. Stay locked in, because when these moves go down, the entire league is going to feel the shockwave. We've explored the risks, the rewards, and the sheer audacity required to operate at this level. The pieces are moving, the clock is ticking, and the story is far from over. Are you ready for the fallout? Because if history is any indication, the best is yet to come. Keep your eyes on the news, because the landscape of this team could look entirely different by the time the first training camp practice kicks off. The wait is almost over, and the outcome will define the narrative of the entire season. Every snap, every practice, and every decision is building towards something massive. And the beauty of it all, we get to watch it unfold in real time. This is the heart of the game. This is why we watch. This is the pursuit of glory. And for a team this hungry, glory is the only option on the table. The anticipation is reaching a breaking point, and when the dust settles, we'll know exactly who is ready to take the throne. The road to the championship is long, arduous, and unforgiving, but for those willing to take the gamble, it is the ultimate reward. Let the countdown to training camp continue, because the next chapter of this story is about to be written in front of our very eyes, and it promises to be nothing short of legendary.